Good morning, Anambra. Definitely, I'm not alone. I'm Ajuluchukwu Okabwe, and next to me is my amiable co-anchor, Chidima Oranwa, looking dazzling this morning.
Good morning, India Anambra, and everyone watching us from all over the world. It's a good thing to have you on another episode of Good Morning Anambra, our breakfast TV show. Good morning once again, and welcome on board.
Yeah, we'll be starting this morning with our ABS headlines, and that's when we come back, we'll definitely get to introduce to you the guests that we have seated in the studio this morning. Don't go anywhere, stay back, we'll soon be back. Good morning, you're welcome. And the guest we have this morning for our newspaper review is Comrade Ken Okoli, a public affairs analyst. He's also the President General of Asatu Youth. Good morning, Comrade Ken.
Good morning, Anambra.
And quickly, let us go to our first headlines, which is going to be the ABS headlines, news making headlines on our website before we now go into the newspaper review proper. And the first story we have this morning is Soludo advocates regular capacity building programs to improve productivity. Ocha Brigade restates resolve to end street trading in Anambra. Anambra State Government introduces geographical information system in land administration. And last but not the least, Anambra State Government to enroll people living with HIV/AIDS into ASHIS. ASHIS. That's all we have for you on our ABS website this lovely morning. And quickly, Comrade Ken, let us look into the Soludo Advocate regular capacity building programs to improve productivity. Since you happen to be the ASATU chairman for the youth wing, what's your take on this laudable initiative?
Capacity building program is very important when you talk about the workforce, because the people who are working, they need to be improving in terms of skills, because the skill you have today may not be useful in the next 5 years, and you need to be upgrading it so that you'll be relevant. And skill is the currency in the world of work. So that's why workers need to be improving on their skills every time, so that they'll be able to meet up with the new trend in the system. And the employer, be it the public sector, be it the private sector, need to, at every point in time, plan on how to be improving the capacity of the people who are working. And if you do not have that in place, you see that what they'll be operating is what they know. And for example, digital skill is the in thing now. In next 5 years, next 10 years, a lot of things we are doing manually will be obsolete, will no longer be in place. So those who are workers, the workers who are there today, if they do not have these good skills,
they might find themselves out of place.
You will not be relevant. Those who have it will edge you out. That's why sometimes they say, if you're applying, you must have good knowledge of Microsoft. You must not have the good knowledge of how to use email and all that. But funny enough, a lot of workers do not even have email. Don't even know how to operate it. What they know is that due to this modern time, every Android phone you have today has WhatsApp. So everybody is like doing WhatsApping thing and thinking it's the only thing you have. No. The idea of improving on the skill of the workers is very important, and it's not only for the public sector. Private sector also need to do. Like the ITF, there is an institution also that are focusing on building the capacity of the workforce, but theirs is more of engaging the private sector to be part of it, because they have a a certain percentage of the tax they pay to the ITF. So that is made mandatory by the law. So that's why they are taking their money from there to do that. But then the private sector need to also. So I commend Soludo for that.
Thank you so much. Ocha Brigade states resolved to end street trading in Anambra State. As much as this news gladdens the hearts of many people, I'm sure so many people that depend on their daily take-home from street trading definitely will be out of, you understand, sustenance for their family.
You know, when you say street trading, who does that street trading more? The youth, the children. They work, the time they're supposed to be in school, the parents send them out, or their guidance send them out to be doing trading. Is it proper? No. It's not proper. The time they're supposed to be in school, they are in the street doing trading. It's not proper. That child that is being neglected, being sent to the street to do trading, is supposed to be in school. And because he's neglected and nobody feels that it's not my child, so I don't care. But that's the child that will form terror tomorrow because he's being neglected. So I support Ocha Brigade in this approach. Take our children off the street. Take our youth off the street. This is the time, especially those who are supposed to be at the school age. Go to school. Thank God that this government has made education free. Take opportunity in that. Get them enrolled in school. Let them partake in the training that other children are taking. And this, we also, the ASAT youth, we have also planning to set up a task force in each community. A task force that is also going to partner with Ocha Brigade to ensure that it will be a holistic approach, not just in the town, but in all communities, 179 communities in the state. So it will be a holistic approach. Not, if you do this part, leave the other part, you will see that you have not gotten it right. So getting it right means that it's the holistic approach whereby you will see that is operation zero tolerance in terms of allowing our children to be in the street doing trading. So I commend Ocha Brigade for doing that.
All right. I stand with you with your submission right now, but we know that it's not just a youth that trade on the street. What about women? Because I know some of the people that are listening or watching us this morning, they want to know if there are plans made for these women, probably to settle them in a place where they will be doing their trading. Because when you take them off the street, most of them, this is what they depend on for their daily meals. So apart from youth, whom you guys are working to see how you can engage them, you know, and then children taking them back to school. Kudos to the state government for, you know, making education a little free in Anambra State, basic education, so to say. But then what about the women that also are involved in street trading? Are there any way or means or what or policies that will be done or put in place to see that probably there is a place that will be built for them or they will be asked to go and start with their trading?
You know, you look at Oka before, like 2 years ago, before this admission came in. Before that, Oka was like turning into shanties in some places where you see kiosks and all that being set up. People, because there's no an enforcement agency that is ready to do the job of making sure that the environment is very cool. And kudos to ACDA under the leadership of Osionoko, who took it up that we should make sure that the development plan put in place by the state government is fully implemented by making sure that those shanties that have been set up in one place or the other are taken off. Now, when you talk about those women who are petty traders, don't we have market? We have market. Must you put some, you know, one thing about it is that if you take because these people are petty traders, then anybody can set up any kiosk anywhere and start doing business. It's not proper. There should be designated places where such business could be done. And that's why I say it's a mini market where you could go to and have people who are doing small business then do their trading. It's not that such business does not exist. No. What we are saying is that you should not be doing it everywhere every nook and cranny in the city. It's not proper. That's what the government is focused on doing.
All right, well said. Let's go to the first paper under review this morning, and that's the Daily Independent newspaper. We have the big story there. Federal government to quote 2024 budget deficit to 3.88% of GDP. And we have a lot of riders under it. 8.88 trillion naira borrowings, 298.49 billion naira privatization proceeds to fund deficit. Adopts all benchmark of $77.96, 1.78 MBPD oil production, dollar, that is naira, 750 per dollar. Defense, education, security take lion's share of 5.43 trillion naira allocation. And then we have Tinubu prioritizes security, job creation, poverty reduction, and orders capital projects at risk with 45% debt service of 18.32 trillion naira revenue. Alleged 1.6 billion naira fraud 7 days after 300 million naira bill. MFL is still in prison. Deputy Governor Ayedatiwa returns to Ondo to preside over cabinet meeting. Wrong code. Association kicks as United Nigeria suspends flight dispatcher. Again, CBN asks banks to issue accept old redesigned Naira notes. Host Communities Trust Fund. NUPRC waits into Chevron communities over or dispute over composition. Tinubu's 2024 budget deceitful, strangulating, hopeless, coming from PDP. Says it has no mechanism for economic recovery. 750 per dollar is suffocating. Okay, and up there we can see Amnesty International says Tinubu has failed to uphold human rights. Court orders minister to explain how 535 million naira was spent on school feeding during lockdown. Wow, we have a whole lot at the front page of Daily Independent this morning. But let's start with the big story. That's the banner headline talking about the presentation of budget. You've seen all the riders we read out, and PDP, should I say interestingly, made a statement that this particular budget is deceitful and also strangulating because according to them, there is no mechanism for economic recovery. When you are pegging the benchmark 750 naira paid for a dollar, you know, and so many other issues raised under the rider there. So let's start with, what do you think about this year's budget? Next year's budget.
You know, the biggest challenge this government is having is people having faith in it, because we know how this administration came in. You know, it takes faith for people to work with a system. It takes faith. Not just people who are really directly working, earning their pay from the system, but people who are supposed to benefit from the activities of those who run the system. It plays an important role. I look at what PDP is saying, that they don't have faith in it. And then an average person in the street, on the road, how does an average person see this government? Look at the past CBN government. Look at the CBN governor, immediate past one, in prison. You know, sometimes I weep for this country, the way things happen and the way things are being run. You find out that as we go into the implementation of this budget, you see that 6 months into the year, you see that the implementation will even be the biggest problem, because we have not gotten it right at the central level, where a budget is properly followed in terms of implementation to the letter. But before you know it, it's a next year budget.
You know, I'm actually worried on how we are going to fund this budget because at the end of the day, it's still borrowing.
It's
And now
borrowing.
telling us that defense, education, and security takes lion's share.
Lion's
It doesn't make any meaning. Like, I don't understand.
When you're talking about a budget and then you're beginning to accrue certain parastatal like the education, defense, and the security to take the lion's share, but nobody seems to have been telling us here on how they intend to generate the money in order to
fund the budget.
To fund the budget. You understand?
Do you
And then coming to even, probably, though this might be a little bit to string alongside the budget, but then Amnesty International is saying Tinubu has failed to uphold human rights. And we're talking about budget. With yesterday's paper, we're talking about 27 million Nigerian children, 27 million Nigerian children unable to have food on the table. The statistics is saying that 27 million Nigerian children are in their need of food. If not, malnutrition will set in. And nobody is talking about that being captured in this budget. We've not seen anything on how to improve our agriculture. In fact, yesterday we were talking about borrowing how many $1 million to improve dry season farming.
We have a whole lot. And then, if still under it, the capital project at risk.
So where do we even go from here?
No investment.
Because
So
the recurrent expenditure, you find it difficult to fund it. How then do you fund capital expenditure? Where are you going to get the money? You borrow it.
And remember that still in this budget, we have money that we are going to be using to service the loans that we've collected, and we are yet to collect. Okay, so we are collecting loans to service our loan.
Yeah, more like
What we are owing.
And then when you get this loan, what is the cost of that loan you're borrowing? Because every loan has a cost. What is the cost? So you service the loan, you service the cost.
Everything.
Is a pitiable situation to find ourselves at the central level.
Yeah, let's go to the next paper for review this morning, and that happens to be the Daily Times newspaper. PDP rubbishes Tinubu's 27.5 trillion naira 2024 budget. And the writer there says, I would rather affiliate Nigerians, party says, contains nothing to revive economy, only renews hopelessness. 3 senators oppose PDP's stance. Its best budget on capital expenditure in years, they say. NAS begins debate today. And then NDIC recovering 400 billion naira debt from liquidated bank. That's coming from Asan. And then 12 dead, many injured in Kwara auto crash. We can't stop demolitions in FCT. That's coming from Wike. Reps to halt exodus of health workers abroad. And then we have cash scarcity hits Delta and Edo State. Max gunmen hijack bullion van, kill Ogun Government House Finance Director. Wow, that's bold.
Yeah.
Well, this NDIC recovering 400 billion debt from liquidated banks. That's coming from Asan. And then, does this have anything to do with the impact on the economy of this country? 400 billion is quite a huge sum of money. And not too long ago, Nigerians were more like protesting against the multi-charges banks issue on customers. Because some banks, when they bring that their balance sheet and tell you that they have made profit of so billion, it is unlawful taxation, you understand, of customers. You go to a bank to make transaction, they tax you. You withdraw, you're being taxed. And some illegal tax, as in fines that they fine you for some bank transaction that are needless. So what do you have to say about this NDIC recovering 400 billion debt from liquidated banks?
You know, the funny thing about this NDIC operation is that if you happen to find yourself at the corridor of power, you'll be excluded from that. So I don't believe that 400 billion, they can do it. If you are in opposition, definitely you pay. But if you join the center, then your sins are forgiven, and so how would they recover such? It's doubtful if they can't do it, because everything that is done at the central level is seen as is more of sentimental than being real, because this is the figure, this is the estimated figure they want to recover. But the question is, can they do it? I doubt, because some of those people who are owing, as long as they cross over to the other side of the divide, then their sins will be forgiven.
Wow. Wike is talking tough here, saying demolitions in FCT won't stop.
Wike, the minister of FCT, well, he always tries to show capacity in every given task that at every point in time. But then, for me, if it is in line with the law, why shouldn't we support such? Most of the times, the problem we have is not the law, it's the implementation.
Now, comrade, sometimes when we talk about following the law, what of those people that approved the building in the first place? Why would the building of someone's investment to be brought to earth, and then the people, the same government agencies that gave you the permission to go about to build, and nobody does anything to them? Shouldn't it be a way of reprimanding those people to either they serve jail term or they probably get to face one person shouldn't be the only one facing it. Since we're talking about sanitizing a system, it should be both ways. You don't bring down a building, for instance. I'm not sure you can go to Abuja and start building without the appropriate authorities giving you the permission and the go ahead to go about it. So what happens to those people that gave you the permission to go ahead to build?
You're right.
Nobody is talking about that, but they are talking about bringing down buildings because they are not in the right places. Let us face fact and then address issues both ways.
In a situation where things are working properly, those who were in authority when such allocation was given should be brought to book. That is the proper way. So that to serve as deterrent for those who will be in that position tomorrow, not to abuse that office, because it's a public office. Today you are there, tomorrow you are not there. So it should. I agree with you.
Just as we are hoping that this particular court order in the Daily Independent, a court ordering minister to explain how 535 million naira was spent on school feeding during lockdown. Let's hope that at the end of the day, the investigation, they're going to, probe whoever it is that took the chunk of the money.
Have you forgotten this one that happened recently, where NDDC chairman was being probed by either Senate or House of Rep? He slumped.
Okay, the off the mic saga.
What is the outcome of that probe?
I don't think most Nigerians are not even aware of that.
Now, this one, the funny enough is that as long as that person who is being probed does not change the platform he or she is in party, then if it's not even within the party, because you see in APC now, there are two camps in APC. Those who are with Tinubu and those who are with Buhari, the diehards of Buhari, and Buhari is no longer in power. Then it's Tinubu that is in power. Now, the minister served under Buhari and been asked to come and explain. And I'm telling you, if that minister happens to change loyalty to join the diehards of Tinubu, you will see that probe will never get anything reasonable. That's just the funny thing.
So are we going to continue moving in circles and then without achieving anything?
Can't
we even have a change for once?
Country. People are losing faith, hope in this country every day. Every day, people are losing faith in this country every day. And it's not funny. Seriously, it's not funny. I'm telling you, it's not funny. The way people, you see, it should not be as if that whatever comes from the center, from the federal government, is seen as, it does not work. It's working for people who are implementing it. Not people who are supposed to benefit from that thing. Do you know what it means? Huh.
All right, let's not dwell so much on that, but we'll keep doing our own part. That is sitting down here every morning to review the papers and, talk. And we believe that one day the minds of those people that are, in charge of different offices, parastatals, and then ministries where things are done in the right way, which have a change of mind and do things better. Let's quickly see what we have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. COP28 summit. Again, Nigeria orders negotiate right to just transition. That's the banner headline in the front page of the Guardian newspaper this morning. And we also have other stories there. Fulfill your stance on federalism, Afenifere tells Tinubu. 14% Nigerian women experience physical violence. Provide 535.8 million school feeding details, court orders minister. More teaching hospital risk shutdown over exodus of medical professionals. Knox applause as Tinubu presents 27.5 trillion naira budget of renewed hope. And okay, these are what we have on the front page of the Guardian newspaper. Let's look at this story of Jagba. Now, from what we are seeing here, more teaching hospitals. We are not even talking about private hospitals. We are not even talking about like other clinics around, but we are talking about teaching hospital, government-owned hospital. Most of them are about to shut down. I think I saw on social media yesterday a particular state teaching hospital. They say they have closed down like 4 wards because they don't have enough doctors and nurses to man, or take care of patients there.
What do you expect? A place where people are losing faith every day, and if they see that the only solution is to travel out of this country, won't they do it? And funny thing, nationhood is something that it has to be run with faith, hope. It's not something that is run by just a territory, people, and government institution. No. People have to have faith in it. And an average person today, if you see even people who are in their 60s, if you give them one slightest opportunity, they will travel out of this country. So how do you see it? Then those places where our people go to, if you offer them any opportunity outside their country, would they come? Would they take it? The answer is no. Because they believe in their system. And they see themselves as people who are part of the system to make the system better. Ours is different. We are looking for opportunity outside this country. And one funny thing, we appreciate people who even travel abroad and come back more than those who are working here. And for example, if you travel abroad, stay for like 4 or 5 years, there's something you look for in this place that you will not be given attention to. Because you're expected to have the money. 2, you're expected to spend it in a way that people can benefit more. Because the exchange rate is different. You have more value placed in their currency than ours. So I'm not surprised
so
that
renewed hope is not working.
Is that?
I say so. The renewed hope is not working.
Which hope?
Renewed hope.
Good a thing. The thinkers in that administration, notice something very, very paramount. The hope is lost. Seriously. They are talking about renewing this hope. But then, it takes someone who is on the same page with you to revive or renew that hope. But someone who is not very close to you, can that person do it? I mean, this administration at the center, can they do it?
Do we give them more time, since you applauded the people, the thinkers in the administration for at least to have understood that the hope, that most Nigerians have lost hope, and now we're talking about renewed hope. So do we give them more time to see if the hope will actually be renewed? Because I don't know, if we continue like this, I'm so particular about the exodus of medical professionals. In fact, not just medical professionals, even lecturers. A lot of people are leaving the country, professionals in different fields. If we continue this way,
shortage of lecturers for
yes,
certain departments.
if we continue this way, what will happen in the next 5-10 years?
And yet we keep turning out graduates every day.
NYSC can see batch A stream 1, stream 2, batch B stream 1, stream 2.
But you don't finish it. Batch C, because we have 3 badges. Each badge has 2 streams at the orientation camp.
Anambra, yesterday they had 2,000 new corps members.
Yes.
That is 1 stream. And I'm sure the next...
That one is stream 2. Because stream 1 passed out on Tuesday, on Friday, stream 2 entered.
I don't even understand the streams and the batches.
Yeah, I understand that because I usually go there to mentor corps members.
Yeah, okay.
So that's why I understand their system.
If we have this number of graduates coming out of Nigerian universities, and we are having shortages of lecturers in the same universities, shortage of doctors and nurses in our hospitals. So does it mean that these people can't even fit into these areas that we have?
And you know, funny thing, again, they say also sometimes they say our graduates, most of our graduates are unemployable. What does it mean? That they don't have that skill required to add value in the world of work. Then you now question the
4 years, the 5 years, the 6 years spent in the university.
You now question the curriculum. You now question the teachers. You see, this is a problem.
Yeah, I will agree with you on that one, because I saw a video of a young girl on one of these social media platforms. She was crying out that she regrets coming out from high institution with first class. I mean, people were wondering, why will you be crying? She said that because there was a place she went to apply for a job. They told her that she's unemployable because she didn't acquire any skills. She was just basically reading to pass her exams. No skills, nothing.
Have you not seen the one that trended last month where a young guy burnt his certificate? I
thought it was just a skit. I didn't know it was a serious one.
Skit voting. He burnt his certificate and said that since he graduated 2010, that certificate has not been useful to him. He has never gotten a job that certificate could be made reference to. So of what use is that certificate? Telling himself graduates, while since 2010 he graduated, he has not gotten a job as a result of being a graduate. All the jobs he has done are his effort.
Skills that he learned.
You see that? So he said, of what use is this? It's better I remove this than hoping that this will give me a better place. And you know one funny thing about that attitude? It's one side is good, one side is not good. But then that young man has been able to tell himself, stop hoping that this will help you. Believe in yourself. Anything you want to, anything you want to get, make sure you have the requisite skill. Acquire it and go for it. And then it will spur him up to work harder and get whatever he wants than relying on that paper certificate. You know, the funny thing again is that in the institution outside here, the essence of education is develop your mind, develop skill, and develop character.
Very important.
This is the major thing. This is why we talk about education. But here in our country, instead of developing the mind, you know what we're developing? Status. I want to be a graduate. And that graduate, you ask yourself, what kind of knowledge do you have of yourself and your system? You can't defend it. Then the skill you're supposed to have, develop, you're looking at the paper to represent you. The character you're supposed to develop, You know what it means today? That even someone who said to be a medical doctor, such changing the ethics of that profession, lack of character. You now ask yourself, the educational institution, how do we use that tool to transform our environment? Are we doing it right? No.
Well,
As much as I sympathize with the young man, but I wouldn't subscribe or I wouldn't support him coming openly to burn the certificate. What he would have done is just maybe to pack it inside his box and just hide it somewhere. Coming openly to burn no, I wouldn't support that. But then again, this is the level of frustration some of our youths are in today. So I think our leaders will really need to do something. And then someone asked me, does it mean that we, as the governed, we can't even do anything again?
You know, yes, we can do something, but then we should be ready to have a disruptive mindset. What do I mean by that? You can't change me now. I can't change you. But I can change my children. You can change your children by molding them with a set of values that if they are inculcated with this set of values, cut across the system, all our educational institutions playing a very key role. Our family institution, the families, the parents are playing the key role about the children because they are citizens. Understanding that we have to deliberately and intentionally create that system whereby we see that these children are our hope. Focus on them. Then that is where the change can come. Because for us, we are competing already. We are already struggling for competition. We are struggling here to see why we'll get one position or the other. So there's not much we can do. But we have to deliberately focus on the young people. That is why I believe in this country. I've not lost hope.
Wow.
I believe so much in this country that this country will one day, take its rightful place, turn around Africa, position Africa as the place where it's supposed to take over the leadership of the global system. I so much believe in it. But then this administration we are having at the moment, we are still playing. Because we want to get it right, we have to look at the children, whose tomorrow we have to invest in so much.
Well, thank you so much for your submission. I believe maybe, I don't know if democracy will take us that path that you're thinking.
It's not democracy, it's transformation. I don't believe in democracy anymore because democracy is losing grip of the system. What is democracy? Democracy is interpreted in two ways. In this part of the world, it's interpreted as change in government. In the Western world, especially in the US, it's interpreted as democratic core values. They are using values to work their system, but here they are using institution of change government. 4 years or 5 years, then you leave. Then they bring another people. That's what we're doing here. So that's why I say democracy is not what I believe in. I believe in transformation, where every institution of the system will play a key role in working to see that the system is better for the common good of everybody who is there.
Wow, that's good. Let's touch the next paper that we have for review this morning, which is The Nation. And then we're still talking about defense, education, health, tops Tinubu's 27.5 trillion naira budget. And then we could see a little sectorial allocation. Defense, 3.25 trillion. Education, 2.18 trillion. Infrastructure, 1.32 trillion. And health, 1.3 trillion. And then you see social development reduction, 534, poverty reduction, 534 billion. Recurrent spending, 9.92 trillion. Capital expenditure, 8.7 trillion. And debt service, 8.25 trillion. And then Ayeda Tiwa to preside over Ondo ESCO meeting today. That story has been really flying over some days now. will I say, the imbroglio between the governor,
sick governor.
the governor.
Give it the sick governor.
Okay, the sick.
The sick governor. Yes.
Well, old notes, new Naira notes remain legal tender indefinitely. And that's coming from the CBN. And then we have 2022 floods cost 9.12 billion damage, says National Bureau of Statistics. Aviation units. Aviation unit in blame game.
Overflight diversion to Asaba.
Overflight diversion to Asaba.
Right.
And that's all we have.
Let's quickly see what we have on the front page of This Day newspaper. We are still talking about the budget presentation. NAS pledges speedy consideration, aggressive oversight of Tinubu's 27.5 trillion naira budget. Aggressive. Okay, we have a physical document project. Okay, we don't need to, read all those things again because that's what we saw on the front page of The Nation. Up there, budget finance ministers defend president's borrowing plan. 2024 budget proposal based on realistic assumptions, says Edun. Supreme Court, old 200, 500, and 1,000 naira notes remain legal tender. And then collaborating for development. We can see that Governor of Enugu State, Dr. Peter Mba, in warm handshake with the president during the governor's meeting with the letter, all right, at the presidential villa in Abuja, okay, on Tuesday. Mba went to Abuja to see the president, okay. And then finally, the Punch
newspaper. Norway's Equinor sells 20% stake in Chevron Agbami field. Robbers kill Ogun Finance Director in bullion van ambush. 25 die in Kwara tank fire. Still on the budget, Supreme Court backs CBN, cancels old Naira deadline. Federal Hospital, CEOs diverting drug funds, PSN alleges. Then still on the Ayedatiwa returns in Ondo, heads ESCO meeting today. Well, much about democracy in this issue in Ondo State, where a hailing governor cannot successfully be comfortable with his deputy running things for him.
What that means is that there is a divide among the leaders there. Those who brought in the deputy governor and those who strongly supported the governor. That's what is just playing out. They are not agreeing.
But they should be in the same party. So what should
it's unfortunate that where these two camps joined together to run the state, and they have been there. This is the second term. It's unfortunate that this is playing out, because on a very good system, you should have been acting for a long time. That's just the truth. You should have been acting a long time. But the problem is trust is lost. There is lack of trust between the two camps. That is why those who are on the side of the governor don't want power to be given to the deputy. And this thing has played at the national level, where Jonathan was muzzled out until what played out. But then nobody wishes anybody to be sick. But it takes someone in a good mental state, in a good health situation, to run that office of the governor. And once someone is having such ailment, you don't need to, because you even need to save your life more. But it's unfortunate that it's turning out the other way. Power, position is what we seek for. Instead of life, which is the most important. You want to seek power at the expense of your health.
Yeah, but at the same time, you can't even run your state from the sick bed in a foreign country.
It's not possible. But funny enough, 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5 persons are the one causing this problem. Because on a very good day, the governor, I am telling you, it happens to every human being, because we are all human beings. Once you are sick and you know that you cannot do anything rather than to take bed rest, you know what's one thing that will be most important to you at that moment to recover. Anything you're going to do to recover, you will do it.
So you're saying that this might be the work of some cabals
What does it mean?
that are benefiting from the
governor.
administration,
So
right?
Of
Yeah?
course, because they are going to lose it.
They are going to lose.
They are looking at themselves as they're going to lose because this man, as he becomes the acting governor, of course, everything will change.
Everything.
Yes.
You see,
And you have his own loyalists too.
Of course.
Okay.
People will be given opportunity to come and play the role that the other people were playing. Press secretary, chief press secretary, mention them. Chief protocol and all those things will be, those who were playing those things now will be sidelined. And you know funny thing, immediately this man was confirmed as acting governor, you will see switch. People who were strong loyalists of those men will now seek avenue where they can go and pledge loyalty to this man so that they can get opportunity also to work for him. But that is immaterial. What is important is
Save your life.
our value system. We are in a confused environment because if we are in an environment where we are able to place our values right, you see that once there is something we even, as long as you see yourself as being sick, you tell yourself, this thing is even causing my problem. Being the governor is worsening your health situation. So you take a resignation and leave office. But it's funny, one funny thing. Those who are
Benefiting from you.
loyalists of you, who are benefiting, not that they love you, not that they love you, but because what they are getting, they are the circle you have.
Everyone is after their pocket.
They will even kill you if you resign.
Well, we can go on and on. Especially, I would have loved us to talk about this issue of this Naira notes. I mean, both the old and the redesigned Naira notes. One will wonder why all those panic last, right? Before the election, right? That we really suffered. A lot of people really suffered. And now we are talking about, because they gave deadline December. Now indefinitely.
Indefinitely.
Are you a child? Don't you know why that thing was done that time?
Anyway, well, we don't really have time for that anyways, because our time is up. We want to say a very big thank you to you, Cambridge Ken Okoli, a public affairs analyst. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well, that's it on Press Review. Thank you so much for being part of it, but don't go yet because we still have some other things for you this morning. We're taking a short break. We'll be right back.
This is In-Depth. Hello, Doc, and welcome to the program. The chairman, Anambra State Association of the Deaf, Mike Obiajulo Meze, educational consultant, executive director, legal practitioner, engineered mother, executive director.